to talk about and show you a breathing technique that I use in my prenatal yoga classes. Now, you don't have to be pregnant to practice this. It's a breathing technique that a lot of yogis use, and it's very, very useful for staying centered and grounded and to enjoy the moment. So this is called the 3-part or full yogic breath. I first learned it when I was studying my Hatha yoga training, and I found it a really useful tool for just, helping students and helping myself as well to forget about everything else that's going on in life and just focus on the present moment and be in this moment. We often speak about breathing in yoga, and it's really called pranayama or life energy. And they're always like little techniques to bring us back into the present, to help us to stay focused and mindful and aware and conscious. So that's why they're just lovely techniques to practice no matter what stage in life you're at or what's going on in your life. Sometimes it's a good thing to practice when everything seems to be going well, because then when things don't go so well, you have the practice and you've done it so much that it becomes very natural to you, and it can be really, really beneficial. That's why, especially during pregnancy, it's a lovely one to practice, because then during labor and birth, any techniques that you have that you find useful are great, but especially breathing ones, because if we can open up the body and use all the different muscles that are involved in breathing to their full capacity to get as much oxygen and energy into the body, then it just means the body is going to be working to its fullest potential, therefore bringing lots of oxygen and lots of energy into the uterus to help make the contractions as beneficial as they can be, to help them work and do exactly what they're supposed to be doing. So I'm going to just start now. We're going to close our eyes. I always invite people to close their eyes during breathing techniques and for most of yoga, because it's such an internal practice and it kind of helps us shut out any visual distractions. So just closing our eyes and getting comfortable. Right now I'm sitting on a bolster just because it feels really comfortable for me today. That's kind of what I felt like doing. But also you can sit cross-legged on a mat or a sheepskin or whatever you have that's comfortable for you. Sometimes with a nice blanket under your bum can be really nice too. So then I just kind of relax my hands on my legs or knees, whatever feels comfortable. And just take a couple of breaths to really just relax into the moment and to try and just become fully present and to shut out any thoughts from what has gone on in the day up until now or what you are planning after now, and just focus on the here and now and the present moment, and try to leave all thoughts outside the room that you're in. So then relaxing some different joints of your body now. I like to relax knees and hips and tilt the tailbone downwards just to release that lower back, relaxing shoulders and tilting your chin slightly forward to align your spine. And then now just allow the force of gravity to release your spine down towards the earth. Relaxing all the muscles of your spine. And now imagine there's a thread pulling you upwards from the crown of your head up towards the sky. This helps to create space between each vertebrae of your spine, making you feel taller, aligning your spine, improving your posture. And then very slowly begin to notice your breath. At first you might notice how as you breathe in, The air feels cool as it enters your nose. And then as you breathe out, the air feels warm as it leaves your nose. Next, bring your hands down around your belly. So if you're pregnant, you're going to hug your baby now with your hands, sending lots of warm energy in there. And as you hold your belly now, begin to notice how as you breathe in, you can feel your diaphragm pushing down as your whole abdominal area expands outwards. And as you breathe out, your diaphragm relaxes, your abdominal area relaxes. Encouraging full, deep abdominal breaths. Breathing energy, oxygen, and love down to your baby. Next, slowly move your hands out to the sides, around the area of your rib cage to the front. And here, continue to breathe deeply, and as you do so, you'll notice how your rib cage expands outwards to the front, the sides, and the back. And then as you breathe out, the whole rib cage relaxes back down again. And this is the second group of muscles that's involved in this three-part breath. If your mind wanders, just bring it back to your breath, consciously focusing on each in-breath and out-breath and how your body moves to cause this deep breathing. And finally, bring your hands up to your chest around the area of your collarbones. And here we're going to continue to breathe in deeply through the nose. As you do so, you notice a slight raising of the chest, and then as you breathe out, it lowers back down again. So this is a very subtle, gentle movement of the chest. Often we find that we are only breathing into the chest, and that is a shallow breath. And really what we're aiming for here is to realize that that is not a full breath, and that to create a full breath we need to breathe down into the abdominal area and the ribs and finally the chest. So we're going to keep one hand up at the chest and bring the other back down onto your baby. And here we'll practice the full yogic breath, or the three-part breath, firstly breathing into the abdominal area as your diaphragm pushes down, then into the rib cage, and finally the chest. And then breathing out deeply. And then slowly begin to abandon that three-part breath as you bring your hands back down onto your legs or knees. And then slowly blink your eyes open. You will definitely feel more calm and more relaxed after having practiced the three-part breath. And I think it's really good to keep in mind that there is no one way to breathe during labor. There are many different types of breathing techniques that you can learn, but the main thing is to keep your breath deep and full. So you may do that without any particular technique that you learn from anybody, which is fantastic. But it's also nice to have different options that might work for you at different points during your labor or during the birth itself. I always try to remind my students that breathing is so important because what it helps us to do is to focus the mind on the body. So your body is doing the breathing. It does it without you telling it to do it all the time. It's amazing, just every aspect of our bodies are amazing. But the whole idea of pranayama or breathing techniques is that by focusing your mind on your body, your mind can't wander onto other, different worries or different thoughts, that it is kind of forced to be in the present moment, which is the whole idea about, becoming centered and focused and calm and relaxed, which is the idea behind these techniques. So I would really encourage you to practice that, whether you're pregnant or not, because at some point in your life you may need to, a kind of a crutch of some sort to help you through a difficult moment. And I've had students who've used this three-part breath for all sorts of different things, difficult moments in their lives, and it really, really works. So I'd invite you to practice that at home, and please let me know if you find it helpful or if you have any questions about it. I'd be more than happy to try and answer them for you. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and namaste.